Hey, what's going on, guys? Dr. Sean J. Harris here at Generational Wealth Academy. Listen, this morning I want to talk to you about leaving the best gift you possibly can for your kids is for them not to rely on you. Now, let me just kind of take you back to what I mean by that. So think about this. Many times when you ask adults a question, it's very hard for them to make a solid, sound decision. It's like when you ask, hey, what do you want to go out to dinner tonight? No one seems to know the answer. And it goes back to being a child. Let me walk you through this. So, as a kid, as a child, you're told what to do by your parent. Then they relinquish you over to the school system at some point, and now they transfer the ability for someone to tell you what to do to the teacher. Now the teacher tells you what to do. So you're never really making decisions. They tell you what class we have. They tell you it's time to cut and paste. It's time to do artwork. It's time to do math. They tell us when it's time to take a bathroom break. And we're also told when it's time to go to lunch. So we're never in a process where we're making decisions. Then we go from school to higher learning, which is high school and ultimately maybe college for some. We're still told what to do by a teacher or professor. Then we go into the workforce, ideally, and we're told what to do by a boss. So now when that guy or that girl comes home from work and the spouse asks, hey, what do you want to do for dinner? No one seems to know because we have lived our whole lives in a position where we're never really able to make decisions for ourselves. So one of the best things you can do is to put your child in a position where they're making daily decisions. And like with Kennedy and Caden, we allow them to make decisions constantly. It's like whenever they ask us, we say, well, what do you think? What's your thoughts? And tell us why. So you want your kids to be able to stand on that decision, whether right, wrong, or indifferent. Stand on that decision. And then that helps them to be able to make better decisions in moving forward. Now, when you're in a position where you're able to make decisions, you tend to have more options. So that's why you want your kids to be able to make decisions at the earliest possible age. You guys probably heard a post I posted earlier this week where Kennedy wanted to purchase some Jordans. She said, well, Dad, can I get some Jordans? I said, you can do what you want to do. It's your money. I said, I'm not paying for Jordans, but if you want to do it, then do it. So she positioned herself. She said, hey, I got the money. So she went ahead and bought them. She was super excited about it. This was her first pair of Jordans. And when she got them, she looked at them. She's like, okay, these are just shoes. I was like, okay. Now we realized that. So she put them on. She said they were kind of snug fit. So Tara told me that Jordans fit that way because of the material that they made out of, I guess. So Kennedy started really realizing that, wow, I spent $162.20. She knows the exact amount she paid for them, for these shoes that now she's underwhelmed about. But we had to let her walk that out. She had to make that decision on her own, go through the experience, and now she realized that it was kind of hype. So we asked her, she said, well, do you want to get another pair? She said, probably not. But the thing was, we still positioned her where she can make her own decision. So these are things we have to put our kids into the position. You know, a lot of times when we're out, we're doing interviews, or people see the kids about their business, they tend to look at Tara and I and start asking us questions. I'm like, dude, they're right here in front of you. Ask them the question. It's their companies. You know, if you're making financial transactions with them, they know how to handle their own financial transactions and selling their products and services. So again, many times we tend to want to baby kids so much that they become young adults and teenagers and they still can't make decisions. They're still performing as babies and not as young adults that we should be aspiring to build them up to be. So, you know, the quicker we teach kids about financial literacy, the quicker it benefits us as parents or grandparents. Here's what I mean by that. If you position your kids where they understand financial literacy at an early age, they can now start creating their own income. The earlier they are financially stable, the quicker you and I are able to retire. Think about that. But on the converse, the longer it takes them to learn financial responsibilities, then the longer it takes us to retire, because now We are positioning ourselves where now they can come back home at 23 years old and say, hey, can I try this again? But I need to stay with you guys for another 6 months or a year. This prolongs our plans as adults. So the quicker we teach them, the quicker they're financially detached from us, if you will, and allows us to be able to shorten our retirement span. So it's super important that we position them to be able to do that. Otherwise, you'll kind of have that revolving door process. I wrote a book. Let me grab it here. I wrote this book the second week of the pandemic. Why it's critically important for Black families to create income, to make money. So in this book, one of my titles for conversations, I don't write books on chapters because I don't like to talk at people. I like to have a conversation. So my books are broken down into conversations. But one of the conversations in this book is titled, "We Can't Kick Our Kids Out Too Soon." See, in the African American community, we're always taught by 18 years old, you got to leave the house, you got to do something, you got to either go to college, you got to get a job, or you got to go to the military. But in other nationalities, other ethnic groups, they don't kick their kids out so soon. I'd rather my kids stay in the home extra time to make sure that they got it. So once they leave the nest, they don't have to come back, rather than kick them out so quick that they didn't get it the first time and have to keep coming back and revolve into a process. It's kind of like the eagle. The eagle kicks the eaglet out of the nest. They watch them flounder and flap their wings. Okay, they're not going to make it. Mommy goes down, swoop them up, bring them back to the nest. And she continues doing that. But she never kicks them out too quick to where they have to keep returning back. So that's the same thing with our kids. We ensure that they got it when they go. It's like building leaders. When you develop a leader, you really haven't done anything until you know that leader can develop other leaders. So you make sure that it's concrete and sound. So that's the message I just wanted to kind of share this morning with everybody, is to allow your children to be children, but at the same time, allow them to grow up and be responsible in making decisions. More importantly, decisions about their own lives. All right, guys, make impact and make money while you're doing it.